Hello vinyl freaks! In this video I will present to you the third and last album by Liza that was put out in 1979. It's called Kontakten and it's musically my favorite album by the band. As I mentioned in my last video about Liza, Peter Branner, the guitarist, he joined Charlatan-gruppen and put out a couple records with them. And those two here is my favorite albums by the band, where he's also playing the guitar on. But meanwhile, in 1979, he was still a member of Charlatan, as they shortened their name to. He also reformed Liza with some old and new members, but Per Møller, the second guitarist and vocalist, he was not a member of this lineup. And the first time I read that, I was a little bit disappointed because he was really the heart and soul of the band and with a voice that really could do on the international scene. But on this album, it's actually, I think it's Peter Branner and a few other members who are sharing the vocals on this album. It's sung in Danish. So Liza eventually jumped on the wagon of performing their songs with the Danish language. And so that's what you will hear here. It's very Danish. But musically, you will like this if you like some progressive rock, because there's more on this album than on the two prior. It's more like progressive, and Peter Branner, he was like the lone guitarist at this point in the band, playing almost all of the guitar. Some places also one of the keyboard players, John Vammen, he is also performing some guitar, but it's Peter Branner who really shines on this album, and he really, you know, it gets time to show off the best of his playing, and I would say it's on this album. So let's jump right into the material. I will talk about all the stuff on the album, so let's get started. So the opening track called Du Gik, it's more like a laid back kind of opening track. It's not something that will blow your mind or anything like that, but I like this song, and I really like the flute playing on this one, which adds like a progressive flavor to it. But this is just the start, but let's listen to what is about to come. I really like this one. It's has more of a progressive feel to it, and it has some twists and turns, like starting out pretty melodic, but then as I'm talking about the twists and turns, this one goes into a heavy progressive section which just is crushing, and I really like this one. So let's check that section out now. probably the heaviest that Liza had been in all of that career until now. I really like this, and this is what makes this album a favorite of mine by the band, because they're doing this. You know, they are really playing heavy in some parts, and the track also develops into a more like a jammy kind of feel towards the end of the song, with some awesome trade-offs by both Peter Branner and John Varmit. Just as with Marianne Fri, also this track called Ringen om Saturn continues the progressive direction of the album, and I really like this one. It's an instrumental and has a crushing riff. I really like this one, and it goes into some jammy territory with some fabulous wah-wah guitar by Peter Branner, and you heard some of this in the intro of the video, and so I will not show it again, but I really like this song. But I will show you this. In the track, there is a bass solo, which is also very awesome. So I will show you a little bit of that instead. Okay, so the A side ends with Købmand Stille, which is just a fairly melodic ballad. It's okay, but it really stands in the shadow of especially the last two tracks we heard. So I would say it's okay, but it's not really something that I'm, remembering the album by. It's okay that it's there for me, but it's really not something, that is blowing my mind away. So before I start talking about the side B of the album, I just want to tell you that the first time I listened to this album, I knew about the two first Liza albums, and then I wanted to figure out what this one was about. And you can actually hear it on Spotify, and I did that, and I was really disappointed. It has something to do with, in Spotify, the album is totally wrong in there. You will hear the B side first and then the A side. And the B side, it's okay, but it's not really the strong part of the album. So I was a little bit let down. I thought, there's not too much guitar on this album. But so also when I first saw the cover of the album, I didn't really remind me of the first two albums, which has more like more brown nuances and a little bit darker in their feel. This one, to me, it kind of looked to me like more polished because of the white. I may have been thinking maybe they went new wave on this one. Not that there's anything wrong about that, but I didn't really think of this as like a progressive album in any vein. But so there were some things about me listening to the album on Spotify where it was totally wrong. Also the cover that made me think, oh, this is not as good. But actually it's become maybe my favorite album by Liza. And Per Møller is not even a member. And that's the other thing. While I really like it musically, the vocals to me are okay. But it's not Per Møller. So that I must say. I really like the album otherwise, So let's get to side B.
Duften af hende hænger stadig ved mig. Det var hårdt at sige godnat. Igen skal vi ud på
Natten og Vejen is a great little soft rock track with a Latin feel to it. It's a cool song. This one actually reminds me of something you may hear on this album. Maybe it's because in this track he's singing about lots of people, masser af mennesker, and also this album is called Masser af mennesker. It's just something that made me think about this album. Tænkt, sagt og skrevet. It's another commercial track. It's acoustic tinged and it's okay. It's not doing a lot for me, but it's fine. Not anything that is blowing my mind. Now the album really became exciting again with this instrumental. Hen under aften is rediscovering the A-side's progressive nature with this more like fusion-like instrumental, which is really awesome. I really like it. There's some great keyboards on it, and of course good guitar work, and has a jammy nature to it. I really like this one. It could have been on the A-side and fit in there. But here it's the only track that really is doing something more progressive and experimental. So I like this one. It's you know, melodic ballad. It's not really doing a lot for me, but it's nice that it's there. The playing is solid, and there's even a little bit of saxophone treatment in the track. So it's okay. Okay, so the album ends with another ballad. Alt for besværligt is the name of it, and it's okay. But me personally, I have a hard time sometimes when you have two ballads in a row. I think the momentum of the album is just fizzling out a little bit. That's just my opinion. It's not because it's bad or anything, and who am I to know where to place the songs, but me personally, I think two ballads in a row is not my thing. But as it is, the ballad, it's fine for what it is. And this ends the album. Probably my favorite album by Liza. That's saying something. Especially because of the highlights on the album, which are Maj er fri, Ringen om Saturn, Hen under aften. Those are really doing it for me and is making this album my favorite by the band. I said it. So if you like my video, please check out this album. I will upload a vinyl rip of it so you can listen to it, or you can listen to the one on Spotify, but that one is wrong. So listen to mine, it should be fine. Please, peace out and see you next time.